The Canon 6D Mark II in 2021. Is it still worth it? Let's find out. Before we begin, I want to kind of say that this is not going to be some beautiful B-rolled full video. This is going to be just me talking about my personal experience as a semi-professional photographer that uses the 6D as their main shooter. This is a full-frame camera from Canon that was released, I believe, in 2017, so it's almost 4 years old, not quite, about 3.5 right now. It uses a CMOS full-frame 26.2 megapixel sensor, has ISO from 100 up to 40,000, and it does have pretty good ISO performance. When the 6D Mark II was released, it got a lot of backlash and didn't get great reviews. Understandably so. This was a $2,000 camera at the time of release that, compared to its predecessor, only had a better focusing system and a flippy touchscreen, which I will say, the flippy touchscreen is pretty useful and I do use it a lot, but is it worth the $1,000 price tag over the 6D Mark I? I owned the 6D Mark I and I upgraded to the Mark II from the Mark I, so I had a direct comparison. And let me tell you, the 6D Mark II is a far better camera, much better than the 6D Mark I. If you're considering to buy the 6D Mark I in 2021, I'm telling you right now, do not buy it. It is an extremely limiting camera that you can barely even focus with it. The focusing is garbage. The 6D Mark II is a far better option for you and your shooting. I have produced some of my best images ever with this camera. And even in 2021, you're going to get some amazing results. The 26.2 megapixels is far more than enough. This picture right here actually was taken on this camera with the Tamron 70-200 2.8 G2 lens, and I love it. I have made money. I have made a ton of money with this camera. Everything is great. The dual pixel autofocus is adequate enough for video. Video on this camera, okay, it doesn't have 4K. It doesn't have 120 frames a second. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. But 1080p at 60 frames a second with dual pixel autofocus, for most people, that's more than enough. Now, I would not recommend you buy this camera brand new. Brand new, I believe it's still $1,400. If you can pick up a good used example, such as mine, I bought mine used with the battery grip for a great price, and I'm more than happy with it. If you can buy one, I'd say $800 for this camera is more than worth it. That's a great deal. $900, even $1,000 is great. $1,400 is a little steep. I've owned this camera for months now, and it has served me extremely well. It does not limit my photography in any way. I've done action, I've done automotive, I've done city, I've done portraits, I've done nature, I've done wild, I've done it all. I've done it all with this camera, and every single time I have a client, they're always happy. Every single time I import these RAW files into Adobe Lightroom, I'm blown away every single time. This camera is amazing. It's incredible. It is the best camera I've ever owned. It's been my favorite camera, really, of all time. So, if this video has helped you, if you have decided to purchase the 6D Mark II, or if you decided not to, but after this video, how can you decide not to purchase this amazing body? It's a beast. Now, I will say, the only reason why I would not get this is if I was going into mirrorless. I would not pick anything else over this except maybe a mirrorless. I would not pick any Nikon DSLR over this except a mirrorless. I can guarantee you that it will serve you well. It's going to. You will not regret it. You will be extremely happy. Let me ask you this. If you are totally new into photography and you have nothing invested in photography, then yeah, maybe a mirrorless camera is the good option for you. But if you have Canon lenses, like a Nifty 50 or a Tamron or anything else, if you have money invested into the Canon DSLR ecosystem, then buy this. If you have a Canon 5D Mark III, buy this. The only DSLR that I would pick over this is the Canon 5D Mark IV, but that's almost twice the price as this. This thing has never died on me. I have never ran out of battery on a shoot. I've never even gotten the low battery symbol. I own 4 batteries. I never have swapped them during a shoot. The battery life on this thing is incredible. Incredible. The 45 phase detect autofocus points are great. They're fast, they're efficient, they're accurate, They're quick. They do the job very well. They are kind of clumped in the center, as you probably have heard. But how hard? Come on, tell me this. How hard is it to do this? How hard is it to kind of recompose? Not a problem. Not a problem at all. The tracking, focusing on this is amazing. I have cars speeding towards me. I turn it into tracking servo AF, and every single time the cars are tack sharp. The 6.5 frames a second is great for action. It's not a ton. It's not the 14, or 20 that the mirrorless can give you, but 6.5 frames compared to the 16 Mark I, the 4.5 that one could do. It's a great upgrade. Anyway, guys, I hope this video has sort of helped you make a decision. Before I bought this camera, there was not a lot of videos just talking about the camera. It was all, people just making fun of it for being a non-great camera. But here's the thing, those people that made fun of it were people that were coming from the highest end cameras. They were not people like you and me coming from a Canon T3i or a Nikon D3200. These people were coming from the big guys, and that's why they didn't like this. If you are upgrading from anything else other than a 5D Mark IV, this camera will blow you away. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, would totally help me out. God bless you guys.